Galaxy! I'm Chris Pirillo, and you've tuned into another live edition of Pirillo Picks. This is actually the second one I did today. My patrons got to see everything that I do. Really, they get to see everything I do live every weekday as patrons. TLDR is a long broadcast, and today is going to be very, very, very long. My first topic was covering why I think the smaller iPad Pro is better than the bigger iPad Pro, and then I talked about my choice for the Star Wars Blu-ray edition that I got with the exclusives. This is only part of it. That's in a separate video. Then I just did an exclusive unboxing of one of these figures. Not this one. This is actually a Black Series 6-inch figure, and from Hasbro. What I unboxed was the Boba Fett die-cast, the 7-inch die-cast series as an exclusive with the Disney Store, and there are absolute differences between these two. I unboxed this Boba Fett because, as you can see behind me, I've got another one still in the box. And look at that. Carlos says that the unboxing was good, my excitement matched his expectations, and got him excited. I would say that was good. And Adam liked it too. They all voted Boba Fett because I could have unboxed another one of the Elite Series figures, the die-cast figures here. I'm just holding them up side by side just to show you some basic differences between these two before I move on to show you the other reissues that I got today. This Boba Fett is a reissue. He does have the cape. That is not soft goods. It is plastic, as is Boba Fett's on the die-cast series, which is metal, die-cast, mostly made of metal. The backpack and Boba Fett's accessory are a harder, yet somewhat bendable plastic. Both of these figures articulated roughly the same price. I think I got this Boba Fett, the 6-inch Hasbro Black Series Boba Fett, super articulated for around $20 when I did get it. This one available as an exclusive from the Disney Store for right around $25 if you're lucky enough to get it. This is the reissue Boba Fett that they just posted today with the release, or to further celebrate the release of Star Wars The Force Awakens, available on quote-unquote home video. There are absolute differences between these two, between paint applications, between structure, between points of articulation, the finer details, what you can and cannot do with each one of the figures. They're not mutually exclusive. That's what I love about figures, is that you could have so many of them, even though they're the same character, different iterations of the character, one being from, let's say, The Empire Strikes Back, thank you, and another one being from Return of the Jedi. It's awesome. Unlike tech, you can always get a new action figure. So these are the Boba Fetts that I have, the larger Boba Fetts. And look at that, even though the Black Series, or the Elite Series, I should say, the die-cast Elite Series all come with stands, I love the fact that I can just set Boba Fett down. Despite him being metal, he's balanced well enough. I can articulate him 7 ways from Sunday, head, arms, knees, elbows. I don't tend to get into articulation as much. I just like a figure that looks good. And that's one of the reasons I love the Black Series and the Elite Series. So today, I also got the reissue of the classic Imperial Stormtrooper. This one is probably going to stay in the box. The box is in good condition. One of the reasons I like the Elite Series, not just because they're die-cast, because quite honestly, I don't chase die-cast items, but they're fun, they're awesome, and I love figures of any kind. Being approximately a 7-inch scale figure, I just think they look great inside the box. In fact, out of all the figures currently available from any manufacturer, I think Disney's doing an amazing job in terms of showcasing each one of the figures. I mean, pretty much you've got, this see-through plastic around all sides. It gets out of the way. It lets you see the figure. These things look outstanding inside the package, as outstanding as they do outside the package, if you're into posing and moving around and what have you. So, very happy to have this one. Did not have him or her before. General Grievous, this is also a reissue. Apparently, in the first release of General Grievous, which I missed, fortunately, I guess there were some issues with joints, and the die-cast has suffered somewhat from some joints potentially being loose or too tight, as well as some discoloration with the lightsaber, but I don't see any discolorations with any of these lightsabers, they come blue and green. And this is a General Grievous. Again, outstanding detail. The second General Grievous that I have, believe it or not, I don't have General Grievous in my favorite scale, the 3.75-inch scale. So, if you're looking to unload some of those, let me know, because I may be picking up a General Grievous collection. The other General Grievous that I have is actually downstairs. It's the Hot Toys or Sideshow Collectibles General Grievous. I have a duplicate General Grievous, so this one is going to be unboxed live for my patrons, likely as an exclusive, and then shown side by side with the Hot Toys exclusive, which is also it's larger than this one. But completely different. Again, with figures, you can get them all and still have different figures across the board. This, of course, is the way Boba Fett looks inside of his packaging. You've seen plenty of Boba Fett, which apparently was one that everybody wanted today. They ran out of them so quickly at the Disney store, but I was so happy. I happened to have a gift card that I earned courtesy of go.tagjag.com/free apps to be able to get them without necessarily dipping into my wallet, per se. This is the Darth Vader. This is not the reissue. This is the Darth Vader I've had for quite some time. I have two. I just have not yet unboxed the Darth Vader Elite series, and I want to. I really do. I haven't necessarily done it. Maybe today is the day. Maybe. Who knows? But they did issue or reissue Darth Vader, so if you missed him the first time around, which I did not, this is one of my focus characters, you should get this. As I show you the last one that I got today, I should note, this is Darth Maul, a character that I'm appreciating more and more as I see him more and more. Now he's a part of the Rebels series. He was certainly a part of the Clone Wars. I think one of my favorite parts of Star Wars fandom has been the fan film Darth Maul Apprentice, which as far as I'm concerned is canon, and you should show anybody before they watch before they watch The Phantom Menace for the first time. I think it's a great what do they call opening act if it was music. So Maul was also reissued. I missed him the first time. And so this one, again, is going to remain in the box. If I don't get a duplicate, they usually, especially with the Elite series, will stay inside the box. I don't necessarily remove anything that I don't have a duplicate of. A couple of other bits of trivia. The Disney Store, as I reach for this, is going to be on May the 4th issuing a prototype Boba Fett. That is the white Boba Fett. They're going to be issuing that in the Elite series May the 4th. I expect that to be very, very hot. I'd imagine it's going to be virtually the same sculpt, just with a wildly different paint application. Potentially same sculpt or similar sculpt to what we see with Boba Fett. I wouldn't expect it to be exactly the same, if only because, this Boba Fett's got the dent, a real dent in his helmet, as does the Black Series from Hasbro. So expect a white or a prototype Boba Fett coming out in the near future, celebrating May the 4th at the Disney Store. Another little bit of trivia in relation to The Force Awakens. If you have a Spiro BB-8, which I talked about, my favorite tech of 2015, update the app, because now if you keep this Spiro BB-8 on the charging cradle, which this one's not plugged in, and you select the Watch It With Me new feature in the app, BB-8, while you're watching The Force Awakens, a digital release of The Force Awakens, or maybe it's on disc, BB-8 will react. BB-8 will react to certain scenes in the movie. It's like you've got someone who can watch The Force Awakens with you, if you don't happen to have someone who's watching The Force Awakens with you. BB-8. It gets better with every passing software revision. I love software, but I also love hardware. This kind of hardware, the collectible hardware. Okay, everybody, thank you for tuning in. I am going to move on and answer questions from my patrons and promise that I don't or won't talk too much more about Star Wars with them today. Today's free podcast highlight was brought to you by all of my active patrons from ChrisPirillo.com. If you want access to the full TLDR episodes, both audio, video, past, present, and future, which can be up to an hour long or longer, with even more tech insight from me every weekday, plus other bonus content without ads, and support me at the same time, you can sign up to become one of my supernomies too. This is just a brief taste of what I'm producing for you daily. Again, get more through ChrisPirillo.com.